Why is it that we're supposed to be experiencing a golden age of health these days, where we get access to, we live in abundance basically.
Yes, we do.
But at the same time, we are the most, we really suffer from all sorts of diseases, chronic diseases. More and more of them are coming, and
also psychological problems.
Psychological problems
rising from not feeling so well, not being so well.
They're more prevalent. You can see, more and more cases of that, and we just seem to be catching illnesses, and our immune system is just getting weaker and weaker. So, how come that there's such huge contrast?
Well, it is the immunity is a very interesting question, because when you use something, then like a language skill, when you speak English, then you won't forget English. When you are in English area, then it's not a problem to communicate in English. If you move to places where they don't use English, and you live there for 20 years, then your English becomes rusty.
That's right.
Is it?
I can guarantee you
that.
But
the immunity is going the same way. When the surroundings are not triggering the immunity, I mean, everything is sanitized, everything is clean. You don't get any trigger from the environment that your immunity should do something. It means that your immunity will be weak, untrained, unsober, non-alert. And any kind of problem arises, like you have a pain or a throat ache or something, a very slight medical condition arises, then you got a pill that takes away the symptom. It means that your immunity does nothing in this respect.
Right.
You don't fight the conditions. You are in a very easy way of living, just not using your ability to defend yourself from the outside.
That's right.
And it is not your, I mean, whose fault is it? Well, it's nobody's fault, because you are not part of nature. You don't contact many people, and the people you contact are the same like you. So we are like not really immune active people right now in this golden age.
Yeah,
so
see.
We have all the resources to kill the germs, and we kill the bad ones, and also we kill the good ones. And if you don't have good bacteria, then your body is evolved to have bacteria always, because the surroundings. Can you imagine 70 years ago, the households did not have the normal sanitization. The water, the running water, the tap water is a new thing from the flats, from the households. The toilet, the water flashing toilet is a new thing. I mean, the human biology is the same, relatively the same, for 200,000 years. And the last 100 years we have experienced a lot of changes in the conditions we keep ourselves.
Would this be an accurate question now, like what are we supposed to do? Go back to nature, buy a farm, live alongside nature, and then just sort of cut yourself out from society? Because it cannot be done, simply cannot be done.
I understand what you mean, because we are living in a very densely populated cities. Well, the humankinds are gravitating together to big cities, I think.
And who would survive being a farmer all of a sudden? I mean, you have to learn the skills first.
Yeah, but these are not very difficult skills in this respect. Sometimes we overestimate how much food we need. We overestimate how much heating or air conditioning we need. It is very good to know that when you don't treat yourself with heating and air conditioning, I mean, in the spring, when it is starting to be warmer and warmer, and you will get into a place where it is about 5 degrees above the optimum, like the 21 degrees centigrade or 72 Fahrenheit, you just don't switch on the AC. And if you don't switch on the AC, then your body will have the trigger that it is warm outside. You need to cool yourself. And your body is a perfect machine. I'm in this respect a biologic system, not a machine. And it will start to cool itself. And you get used to it, and even bigger heat, you accustom to the heat, and your body will do the cooling by itself. The same goes in the fall when the weather becomes cooler and your body starts to heat itself because it does it by itself. But if you go outside right now and you see the weather is very cold, then you will get cold and you can die of it because you are not used to it.
Right.
So what I would like to say is that don't change your habits
overnight.
like a 180 degrees change overnight. You have to prepare yourself. You have to be in a good condition to have the acclimatization.
Yeah, fair enough. Is that why some people say that taking cold showers from time to time would be a very healthy thing?
Many reasons there are, because the cold showers are waking your body up. It means that it has effect on the circulation, it has effect on the circadian rhythm, it has effect on producing the hormones that are making you alert and awake, and reducing the hormones that are relaxing you. So it enters into the hormonal balance even better than the coffee or caffeine.
So would it be fair to say to administer some discomfort to your body in order to
trigger?
Yeah, exactly.
Trigger. So this is the key of the motivation, key point of motivation, because motivation arises only when you don't really think that your present condition is good enough. And you do something, you have to do something in order to be in a better condition.
Fair enough, yeah.
And right now we can realize that our immunity is not in a good condition, so we should be motivated to do something in order to have it in a better condition. But it is like a muscle, or it's like an ability. You have to train it. And you have to start with small weights first, because if you cannot do the push-ups with 100 kilos, then you have to start with 20 with just the bar itself.
Right, yeah, totally true, yeah. Right, okay. I think we got it covered, this one.
Yeah, which is just...
Yeah, okay. It's another good question. Be fair to ask, how far are we actually from nature in this respect? So how far have we got at the moment?
Yeah, everybody is in a different distance from the optimal, but we have to assume that our body is designed to touch the earth, I mean to be in connection with the earth. Even the electromagnetic grounding respect. So we need to, we are very far from these, because we isolate ourselves, we use the air condition, we have the sanitized food, we drink sanitized water, we are living in an environment which is polluted. So we are a bit further than our body can adjust to it. That is the problem. And since there are a lot of new diseases are discovered every year, and these diseases are arising from the thing that we are not in our element. Because we're supposed to be in touch with nature. Our ancestors have never washed a berry before eating, and there was dust on the berries, and there was an ecosystem of different microbes on the berry that is specific to the berry, and these microbes, when we ingested them, were doing the digestive thing. I mean, they broke down the materials which were in the berry because they are specific to the berry. And this is how our metabolic system is evolved is that we had the fruit itself and the enzymes which were provided by the bacteria which was on the surface
Right.
of a different foodstuff. And in this respect, we are very, very, very far from nature.
Right. One might argue that, and I've heard this notion in the past, that the less our body works, the longer we might live, because our body is not used, just like a machine, you know, to general wear and tear kind of thing.
I need to draw you a diagram. I mean, this is something because here is an activity. I mean, intensity, activity, and here is time. And when you wake up in the morning, then your activity goes up. When you go to bed early, your activity goes down. This is the circadian rhythm.
Right.
The sun is shining here, and the moon is on here. The stars. In the daytime, your activity rises when you wake up, and then you have a special point when something happens. You have to run, you have to do an effort, anything, and your activity goes like this, a spike, for 50 seconds. Not a big deal. Your body will remember this, and in the evening at about 12 o'clock, noon, so it happens in the daytime. It happens when you are fast asleep. There is a hormone called growth hormone. And the growth hormone, when you are young, then your body is growing by the growth hormone. But the human growth hormone has a very important role in the regeneration of the body. When you have a stress that lasts, which means that your heart rate goes up very much.
Right.
I mean, you run up the stairs for a minute or so.
Acute stress.
Yeah, but acute one. Then your body will remember it, and your regeneration will do an equivalent rise in human growth hormone.
Okay.
It means that if you have an activity, it will be a proportional regeneration. When you do this, what the average people does with telephones, they're always active. There is no time for the body to be in fast asleep in a most relaxed state when the regeneration can occur. And then your stress level is this high in the morning, because you wake up on an alarm clock. You have a traffic jam. You have an argument with the boss. You have this problem, and you go home, and the kids are not learning, and it is in the evening time, and you watch a horror movie. You see, these spikes won't let your growth hormone work in a way it is designed, with deep relaxation.
Right.
And these kind of stressors, these kind of stresses are inducing the growth hormone, but they cannot work because your body is not in a relaxed state. So it is very difficult, because there is an old Hungarian saying that you have to break a sweat every day and be hungry every day at least once in order to live long. This is a very wise thing. It means that the normal guy works a lot, breaks a sweat at least once a day, and eats when he is hungry. But when you don't express any effort in your life, then you won't be tired enough in order to start the regeneration. So the slow aging will come if you don't do any kind of trigger. Imagine your muscles. If you don't run, if you don't do any physical movement, then your muscles are not needed, so your body won't keep them. They won't.
Exactly. It's all about action reaction.
The same goes for astronauts. When they go to zero gravity, there is no need for that amount of muscle they are sent. So the body starts to take back everything because it is not needed.
Okay.
So they have to use physical training quite regular way, I mean in a few hours periods, because their muscles are degrading.
Right.
And they cannot survive the landing if they are up there, because in hours, in matter of hours, the bone density and the tone of the muscles are going away because it is not needed, it is not used. If you don't use it, then you lose it. That's the same that goes with the total body, but you don't have to, you have to be very sure that not to do the total relaxation, and you don't do the all day stress,
right?
Because none of them works.
Yeah, you optimize these interactions with nature there.
Yeah, you need to have in balance. I mean, the activity and the relaxation should be.
So long life really depends on optimal activity during the daytime and optimal sleep and resting time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, for centenarians, all these people who are living longer than 100 years, they are not, sparing themselves from the daily activities.
Right, that's true. That's true.
But they have a balance in this respect as well.
So what would you say to people who might say that, I can increase my chances of living longer by being vegan, not eating meat, that kind of thing? So meat eaters can live just as long a life as vegans?
Well, can I put another diagram?
Please.
Is it okay?
It's fascinating.
No, because this is very interesting. If you are thinking of diet, the human body is used to eat different sources. Mm-hmm. It means that we have teeth that can cut through meat. Mm. We have molars that can grind seeds and leaves. Mm-hmm. So we are adopted to eat a diet which contains a lot of ingredients. And there is a basic rule that you need to eat 30 different food stuff in a week, okay, in order to have the balanced nutrition.
Right.
But your digestive system should be adaptable to it.
Okay.
So they have to find it very well. And in this respect, we have this, let's call this vegan, let's call this carnivore.
Okay.
So only meat.
So herbivores
herbivores and carnivores. Mm-hmm. And the human body can do with any of these if it is used to it. When you talk to somebody who was risen in a dairy farm, or a chicken farm, better example, then his body will build to chicken meat. Really?
True.
Yeah, and if you are a hunter-gatherer in the jungle, in a tropical condition, and all you have is yam, then your body will be built on starch. Right. This one is protein.
Again, microbes adjusting
Eskimos,
the system.
Eskimos and indigenous people from tropical regions. These people who live in a cold condition, they need food that can raise the body temperature. And the digestion of proteins is resulting a lot of extra energy, which is produced as heat. Mm-hmm. So if you eat protein, meat, then you will have an extra thermal generation. It helps to survive in cold climate.
Right, especially if you eat fat. not just
fat
meat.
as well.
Mm-hmm.
Fat, the digestion of fat and the digestion of proteins is resulting in a lot of extra heat.
Mm.
Therefore, you don't really like to have the steak in the heat wave of August or July, don't you? Have you noticed that you are not very fond of the big chunk of steak?
Yeah, that's true.
You eat it in the evening when your body can do something with the extra heat. When you go to India and go to an ashram where everybody is very calm and it is okay, the temperature, the ambient temperature is very high, and all they need is something which is easily digestible. So rice is perfect because it is easily digestible, and the carbs are not producing as much heat as any kind of proteins or meat stuff.
Right.
So the difference is between the carnivores. I have to say that the carnivores are eating, because these types, the herbivores, are eating the herbs with the bacteria on them.
Uh-huh.
It's true.
Yeah.
I mean, have you seen any grazing animal washing before grazing? No, not at all. So they are consuming the bacteria that are there, which can degrade or digest the grass or the herbs or the vegetables or these. So in order, if you are a raw vegetarian and you buy an industrially produced, sanitized cabbage, which is treated with chemicals in order to grow big, and then treated with chemicals or some kind of irradiation to stay long on the shelf of a supermarket, he will miss those enzymes that can digest that kind of food. The carnivores, if you have muscles, only muscles, because we eat meat, we don't like, we don't like the inner stuff, we don't eat liver, not to mention kidneys and all these disgusting parts of the bowels and stuff. But if you go to nature, the carnivores are eating the inside first. They are consuming with the bacteria the meat. Have you seen any cat taking away the mouse's intestines?
It's interesting that in these documentaries, in nature documentaries, you see lions consuming the meat. We never really see that they consume the intestines. Well, it's never really recorded.
They start with the intestines.
Yeah, well, it's good to know.
Yeah, you have to know that in the zoo, in the Hungarian zoo, it was a big problem because the eyes, the polar bears were very bad condition. No one knew why is it. And because they fed it with the best herring fillet, which was obtainable, but it was a fillet. And they figure out that they have a deficiency of vitamins because the normal polar bears are consuming the fish as it is. And the vitamins are inside, and the necessary nutrients are inside the intestines. And since they did not have it, they had a very severe deficiency, vitamin deficiency and mineral deficiency in this respect. But when you decide to have a carnivore diet, you have to be sure to have some liver and all these intestinal parts as well, not just the muscles.
Sure. Should we go to the market instead of the supermarket then?
Yeah, I prefer, or have an agreement with a local farmer to produce some kind of stuff for you and eat it that way. Very interesting way. I mean, the egg as well is very interesting. And if you are a vegan or a raw vegan, then put effort on it to have organic stuff, which is contacted with nature and did not contact chemicals. In order to have the bacteria that provide you the enzymes to digest these stuff.
Should we wash fruit and veg before we eat?
Well, if you don't know where it is from, you don't have any knowledge about it, then yes.
Yeah, obviously.
Obviously, yes.
Yeah. It's fascinating.
Well, you have to know that when you eat an egg, which has some residues of the origin. How to
Yes,
say
of course.
it.
Yeah,
I
it's a
mean,
nice way to put it. Yes.
yeah. Then you have the visual trigger, you have the chemical trigger through your nose, that this is contaminated with litter. And your saliva is producing enzymes. It's called lysozyme, an enzyme, which is a very strong enzyme to kill bacteria. And the stomach lining is producing mucus in order to produce a lot of acid, in order to produce a lot of protease and all these enzymes to digest everything. And this is like the sanitation 1.0, the best one, because all the juices are prepared to kill the pathogens as well. You eat it that way. When you have an egg and put it into a strawberry shake, and it is contaminated in the outside, then the strawberry is a fruit which is nice and clean and have all these strawberry aromas, which triggers you that this is harmless, because this is a strawberry which has aromas that are antibiotic and no problem can occur. And the juices, the gastric juices, does not contain those antibiotics that can kill the pathogenic bacteria. So the same egg, when you eat it like this, just as it is, and you see that it is contaminated from the outside, you won't have any problem. But the same egg you put into a strawberry flavored dish, and your body will think that this is strawberry. You don't need to have any protease or any enzymes to fight against the pathogens. And the difference is always between all these conditions how you take it. So you have to be sure that when you eat something, it should be, if you are a vegan, then don't make meat-like vegan dishes or vegetarian dishes. Your decision is made, so you eat the lentils, you eat the rice and everything, and right now in the age of the internet you can get all the recipes how to make a delicious food from different stuff, and the carnivores as well. You have to know that if you are on a carnivore diet, then don't try to make a side dish from meat, because that's incredible. You cannot have a meat salad.
No such thing. Yeah, one might say that we've won the battle against germs, but we've lost a war of health.
Yeah.
Would you say that's it's an appropriate characterization?
Well, yeah. In many very severe diseases, we are on the winning side. I mean, you know, the tuberculosis and the STDs, many of these bacterial sexually transmitted diseases are treated very well. The treatment of the symptoms is very useful because you can have your ability to go on and work, but it does not serve you on a long run. It helps in a short term, and therefore, if we think about our ancestors were working until their very advanced age, and then they become in a bad condition, and in a very short run they died. But they have lasted on a high quality for a long period. And right now I think that this war on health has a problem, that the chronic problems that deteriorate the quality of life will arise very early. I mean, ladies before 30 years old, they experience menopausal symptoms.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Heart problems are occurring at the age of 40 for men. I mean, this is unknown. All these cancers are coming closer and closer, and what is the most alarming is that our kids are prone to diabetes. The insulin resistance is 30% in kids about the age of 10.
It's unheard of. No.
And diabetes mellitus was a problem, the type 2 I mean the acquired diabetes, was known to be an old man's disease, an elderly people's problem after the age of 60, 70, when it started to have problems. But right now kids are experiencing the symptoms.
It's very sad.
So yes, it is very sad, and since we are we don't train our immune systems, it means that we have lost the ability to do the necessary things. And what we do is treat our symptoms in order to stay in work or stay in condition to do something to pay for the debts or to some other things that is not our health.
Exactly. So next to a healthy diet and perhaps getting your food from farms instead of supermarkets, what else can we do in terms of, I don't know, just doing some exercise, or so how can we live a fuller life?
Fuller life. Well, we need to provide balance. I mean, in order to live long, you have to be very convinced about your goals. What is your goal? What is that you are good at? You have to know what is the thing that you are good at. As you said, you are very good at teaching. And the more you do it, the more experience you have, it will be easier to do, and you will find bigger and bigger challenges in the field that you are good. And this is a very good way of motivation to increase the harmony around you. Because this is something what your body will do the same. If you increase the harmony around you, then the necessity of the harmony will be in the body. And it means that when you have an exercise and then you have a relaxation and it is in harmony, then your body is in an optimal condition. If you eat when you are hungry, but you are hungry in order to eat, you see that the balance is stable and good. And you don't do anything against your possibilities or type. I mean, if you cannot play football, soccer or anything, then don't force it, because you will be a shitty football player anyway, even if you force it, and you make your life miserable until you get to be a shitty player.
So whatever doesn't feel good, you shouldn't do it. But in terms of sports, for example, you just find your way.
In every part of life, there is something which is your type. You have to find it. You have to know it. When you were a kid, then the elders always ask you, hi, little chap, what will you be when you grow up? Is it true?
Yeah, people keep asking that. Yeah, when you're a child.
And right now, it is helping to your mind to figure out what is it that you are good at. Because you will do something that you are good at, aren't you?
Of course, yeah.
That is how it works. And I mean, you have to trigger it. And when you are a child, you have to know that you have to answer sometimes, sooner or later, this question. And then you will be something. You will be something and you will be good at something. And when you are good at something, then you will nurture or flourish, and everything, every condition is there to be there. But if you have a very dull job, if you hate it, and if you hate the circumstances of your life, even if it is just the place where you live, and you don't do any change about it, then this will put a mark on your health, on your body.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah. Okay, so it's kind of holistic
it is
thing, definitely.
more holistic, yeah.
All right. So what sort of problems are related to digestion?
Oh, almost every problem is related to digestion. Okay, but let's talk about all these which are connected to the metabolism, to the exchange of materials with the environment. Because when you just stressed or you are hurt, then your metabolic system will go down. But let's not talk about them. But when the food you are eating or the drinks you are drinking is not suitable for you, then there are many problems arising. Our ancestors have experienced, or they evolved to cope with different concentrations which are natural concentrations. We have to understand this. Natural concentration of minerals in the water was readily there and available. And we like the fresh water, the spring water, and all these. We prefer them from an old open surface which could be contaminated by any kind of animal original or some rot and decay. But we could use it. But when the water is treated and the mineral composition and concentration is different from the ones the human body needs, then there will be a deficiency in minerals. The same goes for vitamins, the same in the food. The same goes for fibers, and the same goes for so-called essential nutrients. The essential nutrients are nutrients that are only obtained from outside. Our body cannot make it from ingredients. And the essential nutrients which are needed in order to be are proteins, fats, and the only essential carbs are the fibers.
Okay.
The sugars and starches are not essential.
Okay.
We eat a lot of them, but they are not essentials because our body can make sugar, glucose, from proteins and from fats. And with the help of the microbes, we can make the glucose from the fiber digestion. So our body needs these three.
Right.
And we are not aware of it because we are eating starch on starch and we are eating sugar on sugar. And what is very interesting is that our ancestors drank anything was mainly water. And we are drinking juice. We are drinking sweet beverages, which are very appealing to our taste, but we have to know that our body is not prepared to process them. And in this respect, the metabolic problems are arising because we have processed food and foods and beverages, which means that when our body, when we drink a Coke or a soda, which contains a lot of sugar, in a minute, then the concentration of the blood in respect of sugars is so high that we need an extraordinary effort from the pancreas to produce the enzymes to get rid of the extra high sugar. It's called sugar spike, which arises after drinking a sweetened beverage.
Right.
Because in the nature, it is not normal. If you eat an apple, it contains 10% sugar, for example, just to have an armchair estimation. A sweet one, it's a very sweet apple. 10% in the cells. And you have to chew it, you have to swallow it, you have to digest it in the stomach, and it slowly releases it into the small intestine, and the carbs, the sugars are absorbed by the small intestine. When you drink it, it passes through everything, even the stomach, and goes straight into the small intestine, where it is diluted so it can be easily transferred into the blood. And it makes the problem. And with this metabolic problem is that we are not used to the way it occurs in our body.
Okay.
So it becomes a very high concentration. The same goes with refined flours. The same goes with refined fat, with refined anything.
Anything, right.
And the problem is that it's so concentrated that our body cannot do anything only to have it, to accept it. But what to do with it? And that is the biggest problem, that we are accustomed that the scarcity of sugar, the scarcity of fine proteins, the scarcity of fine fatty acids is normal in nature. And we keep all. And our body is designed to keep them all because it is scarce.
Okay.
But right now it is concentrated and we keep them all.
And it just gets accumulated in our bodies.
Yes, and that is the problem, that the accumulation, we are force-fed like the geese, the foie gras. We have the fatty liver. Condition as the same as the geese have.
Wow.
And this is about the way we eat and what we eat.
So if someone stopped eating these refined sugar and sugary things, that would probably be the best way forward.
Yeah.
No sugar at all.
Well, no flour at all. I mean, no sugar at all. If you drink something, it should not contain sugar. There are some exceptions, like the harvest time, when you have the grape and you have the fresh juice.
Right.
It's okay. And when you do that, don't feel guilty about it. I mean, for once you can have it, but not on a daily basis. You don't do it in the morning, every morning. You put, now, I don't want to go inside this, but the sugar in dilution is unknown for the nature.
Yeah, I totally understand that.
It's never occurring.
It's never occurring.
I mean, the plants are, I don't know whether you are aware of it or not, but when the plants try to keep themselves from the insects, they raise the concentration of the sap, the sugar concentration of the sap. And when the insect tastes it, it is so sweet, so high concentration sugar there is, that takes away the water from the insect. So the insect don't eat the healthy fruit which contain high concentration sugar in the sap.
It's amazing.
It is amazing.
Yeah.
It is amazing. And when the plant is starving or have problems with sugar production and the concentration of sugar goes down, then the insect can infect them. That is the point when the sap contains lower sugar than it is needed to repel or keep the insects away. When the sugar concentration goes down, then the insects are able. So it means that there is a problem with the plant.
Okay.
Then can occur the insects. Very, very strange.
It's fascinating. Yeah.
Because that concentration is not tolerable by them. And all these metabolic problems are arises from the misuse of the natural systems, because we overdo something. For example, you know that there are lectins, there are some so-called xenobiotics, which are everywhere in every foodstuff. There is something which is a bit bitter, a bit less tasty, for example,
less intense.
Less intense. I have a question to you. You have a very good wine which is traveled from Chile to Europe, for example, and it is totally clean, clear, fruity, tasty, and something is about, you know, it is a bit more engineered than it is used to. Where you have an organic vineyard. They produce a wine. When you drink the one from Chile, you can drink 2 bottles in a row because it is so clean, so fresh, so everything is so perfect with it. Isn't true? But you have the organic one, which is after the second glass, you feel this is too much tannins, it's a bit too sour, and that is the natural way of putting yourself to restrict the consumption, because the natural things have the stop signal in the taste.
Yeah. It's a bit of a red flag telling you that, you know, that's...
Well, I don't really like it anymore, because But have you noticed that the kids are not leaving a half package of chips?
Mm-hmm.
They always eat the whole package.
The whole pack, yeah.
Because the only stop sign is that it is
It's
gone.
gone.
But you have a wide variety of apple,
Mm-hmm.
and you are very hungry. You eat one or two, and then you feel, okay, I'm satisfied.
Uh-huh.
You don't want to eat all the apples. But when you have the big, sweet apples, then you can have 3, 4, or more until the pressure in your stomach says that you cannot put
Mm-hmm.
more.
I see. Okay, personal
Yeah.
question. Do you eat any sugary thing yourself?
Of course. Well,
So what should be the limit? Can we keep it in balance, or should we get rid of sugar at all? For lots of people, it's an addiction. So
it's an addiction. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what I do is, I really do like myself. So when I treat myself with something which is sweet,
Mm-hmm.
then I do it with pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
But I try to force myself not to overeat it,
Mm-hmm.
because I know that this is too much for me. But when I eat it, I really do like it. I do enjoy it. But I think it is like a celebration time. When you have a birthday and you have a nice birthday cake, and you eat it with bad thoughts, how would it come together?
Course.
I mean,
Of course, yeah. You enjoy that kind of thing, but you don't.
don't eat every day.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Well, I don't really have a sweet teeth in this respect. But if I eat something, I can make difference between nice cake. I wouldn't buy myself. I wouldn't go for having a sweet treat for myself.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And it is not known. This is instinctive.
Mm-hmm.
I guess my type is not that type. But if I eat it, then I enjoy it. That is the key,
Right.
what I do.
I see. Obviously, you don't get carried away, and that's key. Okay, okay, cool.
Well, when somebody puts an effort on do the supplementing in case of minerals and vitamins and Q enzymes and all these, when your digestive system is strong, then the absorption, everything you buy or take will be provided by the digestive system. Let's turn it around. If you have a metabolic problem and your digestive system is not working properly, then it doesn't really matter how much you spend on supplements if you cannot absorb them. You cannot digest them, you cannot take them from it. And we have a very good experience with different types of food supplements, that if you use the drops, then the effect of these supplements are much higher.
Mm-hmm.
It means that you have to reduce the dosage
I see.
to have the same effect.
Okay.
In case of vitamins and minerals, it is very, very, very good. Some of our customers have said that the old vitamins are started to work again after using the Herboferm drops.
Okay.
Because the drops are making the metabolic system, the digestion, the degradation of the materials, and the absorption as well very effective.
I see. So this provides the very basis for absorption of minerals and vitamins
And
inside of it,
materials
right?
that are provided by bacteria, which is very important because there is a condition with the metabolic problems when you are feeling hungry and tired and hungry, and even if you eat you are not satisfied. It is sometimes due to the condition called functional deficiency, nutritional deficiency, with trace nutrients and vitamins and all these things that are produced by the bacteria. And when you put the balance back with the bacteria, or your microbiome is in a symbiosis with you, so it is works for you and with you, then they will provide a lot of nutrients, and then you can absorb them, but then it will treat your hunger as well. Because when you are well fed, then you are, what is very interesting is when you are healthy, your body won't grab any extra weight, because it is not good. It is not good for running away from predators. It is not good to do the mating. I mean, it won't help.
Okay. Yeah.
So your body will get rid of the extra fat or the extra weight
with a sound digestion
when
system.
you are well nourished, when you are in a good condition.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's great. So it's, with the great digestion system, you can have a six-pack. It's for the sports people, even if you eat, the right food.
Well, you have to train. Yeah.
Yeah, of course you have to train.
Yeah.
You have to train, but I'm talking about the diet side of things. So it's interesting. It's
that's how it works. And one thing is that this one, when the digestive system is operating well, then you gain the weight which is needed for your lifestyle. In order, when you do sports, then you won't accumulate fat. You will grow your muscles. But when you have extra, then they will go away, because you are not fasting anymore in terms of micronutrients. That's the key. Right. So it puts you in the balance, in the middle, in the good range.
Right. I was only asking that because I myself go to the gym and I keep fit in that way. So if I wanted to lose weight, for example, from my tummy, I wouldn't have to worry about eating in the evening. I could have my evening meal as long as I have a good digestion system and a digestive system, and I eat the right food. I wouldn't gain extra weight just because I have all 3 meals during the day.
Yes, but the meals consumed 2 hours before going to bed is okay. But when you are digesting, then your rest won't be so effective. So it is always advisable to stop eating at least 3 hours before you go to sleep.
3 hours, okay.
That is the best.
That's best.
That's the best. When you experience in the morning that your stool is soft, it means that your body is losing the excess.
Okay.
Or the digestive processes are not working properly.
Okay.
So sometimes when you have your digestive system working, then you have to make the modifications from the portions, from the side of the portions, from the view of the portions, because you have a stronger absorption. It means that you will use less food to have the same amount of nutrients out of it.
I see.
You have to take a good consideration. Some people who were counting calories and they went on and they started to use the Herbapharm drops, they said that gaining weight, they are getting on something. Of course, because they had the same calorific value, the same amounts, the same portions, because they didn't go for their taste or instincts. They went for the numbers.
I see. By the textbook. By
the textbook, yeah. But you have to trust your satiety in order to say when is enough or not.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Recently, I've noticed about myself that I left some food on the table, and normally I don't do that.
Yeah, but that's normal. That's normal.
That I'm sure that it's direct connection with the drops that I've been taking. Yeah. So interesting question. Could be okay. We were talking about little treats, a glass of wine here, maybe a piece of cake there. But what is it that you personally normally eat? When there's no sugary stuff on your.
Well, I prefer home cooked meals.
Okay.
And I eat everything practically. So one more thing is a common problem is that we are focusing too much on how we eat, what we eat. I mean, if you have a good and balanced lifestyle, then you don't. This is a golden age, so you can get every kind of food anytime in 20 minutes. I mean, if you want, you can have crabs in Budapest, so it is not a problem. It means that I don't think we should take that much attention or pay that much attention to food as we do sometimes.
Right. Yeah.
I don't do myself. After having this little chat with you, it's totally clear that it's the digestion that we need to keep in balance, because a lot of people are turning to different types of natural part, put
it
closer to nature.
That's right.
And it will balance itself.
Exactly. So, and a lot of people, they feel that there's a problem, like we started at the beginning of this little chat. They feel that something's wrong, and then they turn to different types of diets, because that's what's really communicated through the media and everywhere where we, and people are desperate, I think. And
yeah, you're right.
That's what's happening at the moment. So how can we make people aware of this very simple fact that it's your digestion system that you need to take care of, and everything will work out? How do we? Any ideas on that?
Well, if somebody has problems, then it is easy to turn their attention into this direction. But if you are, everything is okay, then don't go to extremes. That is the only advice I can have in order to be on the normal side. I mean, don't do too many extremes in fashionable diets, or don't put so much emphasis on what is your weight. I mean, if you are all right with yourself, you're doing your life, then why to focus on kilos or pounds?
Exactly. But on the other hand, what I really meant was, how do we communicate to people that they really need this and it will improve their life qualities?
Oh, well, since it is very new, because it is made with natural fermentation, it is difficult because you have to do the education in order to make people understand that it is a food supplement or a dietary supplement, that it is needed on a regular basis in order to get back closer to nature, because we are so far with our diet from nature, so we need to do something against it. And there are probiotics and prebiotics and symbiotics and all these pharmaceutical grade stuff which are doing the trick on a short term. But on a long run you have to get closer, and therefore what I do is try to help many people with verbal advice like this, or with lectures. Well, mostly we do it in Hungarian, and we have at least 60 lectures on the internet, but because about the healthy lifestyle comes from reconnecting with nature.
Right.
So it's a new religio, the Latin word comes.
Religion?
Religio means reconnecting.
Oh, okay. Yeah, reconnecting. Yeah, it would be great if people just understood the importance of it. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. It was great.
It was very nice.
It was great.